okay, put your pens down.
Mm.
Then I asked one of the youngsters, I said, please tell me, why aren't you writing? So he says, sir, I don't know the meaning of these three, BAF, PAF and PLAF.
Okay.
So I said, I'm very happy that you asked this question because now I know where to take off from, where to start.
Okay. Mm.
So I started off by explaining to them what is PAF means Pakistan Air Force, BAF means Bangladeshi Air Force, PLAF means People's Liberation Army Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then going on to name any few aircraft, name this. So the basic knowledge was not there.
Oh. Mm.
So one had to start off from there. Then I had to talk about tactics. What type of tactics that are used against missile units when they attack Air Force bases? How do we go about it? So they had to be told all these things.
Yeah.
I was very happy. Then Dasi went and checked them out. All of them were declared operational.
Oh, that's a total turnaround because of your efforts.
That was yes. And then in the meantime, we had an op deployment where we got missile units from the east also coming in. So I had to handle complete operational movement, go and visit all the units to find out if how they are deployed, and camouflage is all right.
Sir.
Everything had to be. And the scenes he went, he was extremely happy with the whole thing.
Great, sir.
And a lot of hard work was put into this thing. And immediately after that 1 year, I mean, in the month of March 1991,
sir,
I took my well-deserved leave, which I wanted. And sure enough, within 15 days, I was recalled.
Again. Okay.
And suddenly I was told that you are proceeding on the higher command course to Mau.
Mm-hmm.
It's the higher command is with the army.
Yes, sir.
It's a 1 year course. So
now, is that course mandatory, sir, for getting promotion?
one of the courses is mandatory.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And immediately we came back. Then the signal sent by Peace Staff was wrong. Dates were given incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
By the time when I landed up at Delhi, and we found that no, we had to not 4th of June, but we had to report on 1st of June.
Oh.
All our reservations went for a 6. We had to drive down all the way to Mau from Delhi. And in my old car I went, and I had to leave my family behind because my children were in school and colleges, and they couldn't have been brought to Mau. Though it's a proper posting. Houses are available there for the family.
Okay.
Yeah, but mine were grown-up children by that time.
So okay.
And so the course started over there, and basically it's a 1 year course which we do with the army. 6 of us, I think, were there. 6 of us Air Force people from different backgrounds. We were fighter, transport, helicopters. I think one of the photographs is there also.
Yeah, I'm going to share.
And this is the one. Of course, this is the end of the course. On the extreme left is a chap called the now Air Commodore Deoskar. Then
this
is
one?
Extreme left, the other side. Then is me. Then is Air Vice Marshal Harimohan.
Sir.
Then is Air Vice Marshal Sandhu.
Sir.
Then is Air Chief Marshal Fali Major.
Oh, he was in a course mate here.
Yeah, and then is Air Commodore Khanna.
I think you are senior to him, sir.
Yes, I am one course senior.
Great. Yes, sir.
So this was finished our course. So anyway, when the course started, it touches on geopolitical thing also,
sir,
but not very much. More on the military aspects.
Okay, sir.
And we do few tenures. I mean tours. I'm sorry. One we do to the east, one we do to the north, one we do to the west, one we do to the south. That is Andaman Nicobar.
Oh, there is within India, sir, outside India?
These are all inside India.
Inside, yes. Okay.
Now what has happened is, now they have included a trip outside abroad also.
Okay.
Which is now with the later courses that passed out.
Okay, right.
We were the internal lot.
Sir.
But the aim of this exercise was primarily because at that time it was not an MPhil course.
Okay.
It was a normal higher command course. At the end of these trips that we used to come, and then we used to have a war game.
Mm-hmm.
A war game between, say, India and Pakistan on the western front, India and Pakistan on the northern front, India and China on the eastern front, India in the naval front. How you will go on to, how will the Navy operate?
So officers
So,
from all the three services come there, sir,
so-
for training.
Yeah. All the three services: Army, Navy, Air Force.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Navy sends only one or two. In Navy sends 2 people.
Okay.
Air Force 6 people.
Oh.
The rest are all Army.
Sir.
Now, and and during that period of time, you are made to write a thesis also. A topic is given, and you give a topic, and then you write a thesis on that topic.
Okay.
And during the war gaming, like for example, in my case, I was never an Indian general at all.
Acha. Okay. Foreign.
The first war game, I was a Pakistani general, army general.
You have to play the role of a general, sir.
I have to play the role of a general there.
Okay. Okay.
And did exactly what happened in Kargil, by the way.
Okay.
I mean, I did. That was the role. My role was as a general from the other side.
Okay. Okay.
And after that, I was the AOC of Central Command in SWAC area.
Okay. Okay.
Pakistani side again.
Acha.
In eastern side, I was the Chinese commander, PLAF commander.
Okay. Okay. Foreign commander will always.
So every time I was the enemy.
Okay.
So my thinking had to be like the enemy, you know,
Yeah, of course.
as to how they would go about, and that, I'll tell you, helped me a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Because even when I was commanding, Uttarlai and various places, I would start thinking like that.
So other enemy's perspective also.
Enemy's perspective, because that is what gave me the training when I was doing the higher command course.
Oh, great, sir.
How to think like them. Finally, when we finish the course at the end of the year, normally the chief comes over there when he talks, he gives you your promotion, your postings.
Yeah.
So I was told I'm going to take over Uttarlai.
Okay.
So now I had been to Jaisalmer a number of times. I've been operating from Jaisalmer any number of times.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, Uttarlai, I had not been to. I said, chalo, dekhte kya hota hai.
Okay.
All I knew that Uttarlai was, people they used to say, is like a punishment posting.
Mm-hmm.
It's people send you all the people who have taken panga somewhere or the other.
Yes, sir.
So that kind of a thing. So anyway, so at the end of the course, we were given a short leave, and I went via Delhi to meet my family, and from there I drove on in my own car.
You went by road all the way.
I went to road all the way. I went all the way to Uttarlai.
Sir.
And at that time, I had a 1966 model Fiat.
Oh my God. Okay.
But he did very well, I must say.
Sir.
And once I reached Uttarlai, now what happened was when I stopped over at Jodhpur, the then station commander of Uttarlai was a Group Captain Benjamin, who was one course junior to me. He was Fali Major's coursemate. He told me, he says, I'm coming there for my farewell party, then we both come back together.
Mm.
I said, see, I don't mind coming with you, but you will drive with me, because I'm not going to let anyone handle my Fiat.
Car.
So anyway, at somewhere around middle of the night, I got a message saying that he says he'll come separately, you go ahead. So I said, okay. Now my habit was to drive early in the morning.
Oh.
5:30 in the morning, I set course from Jodhpur. By 8 o'clock in the morning, I reached Uttarlai.
Okay.
Now when I reached over there, nobody bothered to stop me. No DSC guard stopped me anywhere. I just entered the campus. I reached the officers' mess.
Mm.
I went to the VIP cottage. I parked the car there. Nobody was there to receive me.
Okay.
And then subsequently, I walked. The officers' mess was right opposite, so I walked up to the mess, and there were a few officers sitting there and eating their breakfast.
Okay.
At 8:30 in the morning. So I just walked in. Nobody said anything to me because I was in civilian clothes as it is.
Okay.
And I called the number one and I said, "Thoda VIP room khol dena."
Mm.
He looked at me.
Mm.
I said, "Tumhara kal ka station commander room." He didn't understand. Then I told him I am Group Captain Joshi. Ha, sab, abhi aate hain. So then they opened up the VIP room and all that. But these officers did not react.
Oh, in spite of you revealing yourself.
Yes. In spite of my saying who I am.
Oh.
Anyway, I didn't say anything. I just walked out and I went to my room and got into my room. I freshened up, got ready. And in the meantime, that same Skonida Pannu who was with me in Russia, He happened to be the coup over there.
Acha, okay.
So he came running to the VIP room and told the number one there. He said, "इसको बंद कर दो, साहब बाद में आने वाले हैं."
Acha.
That was the situation where nobody knew that I had even arrived.
Oh, okay.
So after that, that fellow told him, and I was standing out there only. So he said, "साहब तो आ गए." He said, "कब आए थे?" He said, "साहब 8 बजे आए थे." So then I called him. I said, "Hey, punter, come here." Because we were in 37 squadron together, then we were in 221 together.
Yeah.
He was
So long association, yeah.
Long association. So he says, "Sir, when did you come in?" I said, "I came in at 8 o'clock because he says, Benjamin sent a message that you all are coming together." I said, "Benjamin does not know. He only sent me a message at midnight that you can go on your own."
Sir.
So anyway, I was getting the feel of the station, basically. And I asked him, I said, "Can you just send us one of the cars to me? He can drive me around the domestic campus."
Yeah, just to oversee, yeah.
I don't want to go to technical area because I am still not taken over and it is wrong on my part.
Achha.
But domestic area I can go to. So he gave me a car. I went to the domestic. I just saw what is there in
the Okay.
There was nothing there. Just a few houses were there and old constructed buildings and things like that. And then I came back to my room and then I got a message saying from Benjamin that please join us for lunch. So I said, "Okay, I'll come." So I went for lunch and things like that. Came back, relaxed. Next morning, I went for the handing over, taking over parade. So after the handing over, taking over parade, then that evening, Benjamin left. And after that, I didn't say anything till then. But then I got all the officers into the briefing room and I let everybody have it. And I said, "I am one person. I am very, very strict on certain issues. I believe that as a professional, you should be professional. If working hours are at 7:30, I expect you to be in your office at 7:30, not at 7:30, 7:25. And if the working hours are till 2 o'clock, then you will leave after 2 o'clock, not before."
Okay.
I said, "See, I am very strict on certain issues and I will start issuing warnings on." So people got to know me in a different light now.
Okay.
And believe me, I was very strict for the first 1 year.
Okay.
I used to go at night for security checks. I used to, go anywhere at any time. If I found a guy sleeping, I didn't believe in putting a guy on charge.
Okay.
If I found a DSC guard sleeping or an airman guard sleeping, there itself I would say, "Okay, hold your rifle and keep doubling till I tell you to stop."
Spontaneous punishments, okay.
Right away, I said,
sir.
I don't believe in charge sheets.
Yes, sir.
I don't believe in that at all. Punishment should be given straight away.
Right, sir.
And anyway, and Uttarlai had just recovered from a very serious flood in 1990.
Okay.
All the buildings which were underground were damaged, and the water was there right up to the top of the ATC, and they had to dig a canal to remove the
water. Okay.
But I had a few lakes inside the airfield, so my bird menace went up. Various problems started taking place. And that monsoon again, I got flooded. Uttarlai got flooded again. So I had to move the squadron out. The migratory birds who came, they instead of going to Bharatpur Game Sanctuary, they landed up in Uttarlai.
Oh, okay.
And they wouldn't leave. And every time the CNC would ring me up and say, "What are you doing about it?" I said, "Sir, I am doing my best."
Major concern.
That unfortunately, the canal that was made 16 kilometers long to get the water out has been filled up by the villagers because they were not paid. So a lot of these things started, very effective. Then subsequently, I had to get a lot of repair work being done,
Sir.
These underground buildings, whichever I could recover, I have a habit of recovering whatever is possible.
Okay.
If it is possible to be repaired. And I started working towards that. I started working towards getting land for that railway thing that, between.
Yeah, you were mentioning, yes, sir.
Then we had a place called Chauthan, which is 40 kilometers away from Barmer. I had to get a radar put on top over there. It was on the top of the hill.
Sir.
So that road had to be made. The thing had to be cut. These work services were being done, but it was during my time that I had to get activated.
Okay. I think you have been always doing something.
Yeah. Then not only the bird menace was there, I had blue bull menace.
Oh.
I had security problems because at that time, when Uttarlai was made, there was only one single fencing, which was not enough. It was all old fencing. The blue bulls would just come in, were Nilgai, na? They would just come in and break inside. And in fact, we had one MiG-21 damaged at night because of a blue bull hit.
Oh.
So, number of these issues had to be tackled.
Okay.
And then I wrote to the government, Rajasthan government, saying that, bhai, आप लोग नील गाय बोलते हैं, but officially it is called नील घोड़ा. So actually it is not a guy, it is a ghoda, and they should be. I don't want to shoot them, but I would like to throw them out of the airfield. So I started. My fencing had to be, I started making some, besides the normal fencing which one sees horizontal line, put a lot of vertical lines.
Okay.
Then I had started the fencing work coming up. At the same time, I had a new dispersal coming up. But along with that, the training did not stop.
It was continuing, yes.
Continuing exercises had to carry on. Dhati came.
So apart from all other works.
All work services were being done.
Sir.
Then I got the new bomb dump done. Now, you see, I had to start innovating things also. Now, Uttarlai did not have a Queen Mary, which we used to have once upon a time. That huge Queen Mary. For logistics movement.
Sir.
We did not have a flat top trailer. We had just the basic things available. Now we had 2 MOF units. Sir. But the gypsies had been used by a lot of people as private vehicles.
Oh.
I stopped using that. I said from now onwards they will not be used. Maintenance work is to continue. I started something called Use Your Own Vehicle Day.
Okay.
That was on every Wednesday.
So
including my car, my staff car. All these vehicles would go to the empty section. Even I would drive in my own personal car for work.
Okay. That's great, sir.
Okay. Because on Wednesday, nobody was allowed to use a service vehicle.
Okay.
I used to personally drive all the vehicles. In case somebody came to me for, sir, this vehicle is not working, I would drive it. Because during my college days, I have worked in a garage.
Oh.
So
okay.
I knew about vehicles very well.
Okay.
I've actually physically worked in a garage, just as a hobby.
Okay.
So I've driven the MRS, I drove the fire tenders, I have driven 3-tonners, I've driven everything.
Achha, all-rounder. Okay.
So these kind of things, I was very, very, very particular about. And then I had given a decision that nothing will go, underground is to be stopped. Because otherwise the water was coming in. If you build anything, the water was coming from underground.
Okay.
Because below is gypsum. Gypsum is meant for cement, and we had a fact, that where they used to mine gypsum from there.
Sir.
So anything you built underground, we used to be ruined. So I said, okay, we'll have everything above. And there were a few things. I must tell you a joke. Like one day, the auditor came. The auditor happened to be an ex-army auditor.
Okay.
So that day when he came happened to be a Wednesday.
Achha, when people were driving their own vehicles.
Yes. So he was a little angry about the whole thing. That he was not given a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Normally, the auditor is not supposed to enter the station commander's office.
Okay.
So he said, I want to meet the station commander. So I said, please bring him in. So he came. He says, I have not been given a vehicle. I said, first of all, who are you? You please introduce yourself.
Okay.
So he introduced himself. I said, are you an Air Force auditor or naval or army auditor? He said, I was with the army. I said, no wonder the army has a lot of transport. In Air Force, we don't have so many. That is why the army used to give you transport, and we cannot give you transport just like that. And secondly, you want to go to town. So today you can't go to town. So he says, why can't I go to town? I said, have you seen that vehicle outside park? That Fiat car over there? That is my Fiat. And I am the station commander, and today it is no vehicle day, and even I have come in my own car. So you will not go. As far as I am concerned, you can take a bus and go. So then he started, mellowing down a little bit. Then I told him, I said, okay, do one thing. I can only do one thing to you. You want to go to town? Air Force has got aircraft. So you take a MiG-21 and take it to town. So, he said, sir, what are you joking? I said, I'm not joking. You can fly a MiG-21, please take it and take it. I am not bothered. But today is no vehicle day, sir. So he went out and he said, what kind of a man is he? He says, he's a very strict man. Don't even try it. He will not listen to you. Do what you want. Take it tomorrow. Anyway, then he came. I gave him, next day I gave him a chance to go. Then he wanted to go to Chauthan. Now, Chauthan is a place where all this embroidery work is done. Silver and all these works, carpets are made there, all these. He said, I want to go to Chauthan. I said, you cannot go. Because that is outside your limit.
Okay.
Our limit is only up to a picnic place called Nimdi. You can go up to Nimdi only. My airmen only go up to Nimdi. They don't go beyond that. So he said, but I'm an auditor. I said, but then you can be an auditor, but it will be an audit objection. So he says, no, they won't be an audit objection. I said, in that case, you will clear all my audit objections over here.
Very good link.
There was one which was 1988 old audit objection. And it was about to go to the ministry. It would have been very difficult for the station to answer. I said, you clear that and all the others. So he cleared that.
Good, very good bargain.
But he said, I leave 2-3, sir. I said, okay, you leave 2-3, no problem. But rest of it all must go.
Okay.
But then I'll give you a transport. No problem. So anyway, fine. This is a joke. I mean, you can...
Yeah, it's a very good bargain, sir.
You have to be tough also at the same time.
Yeah.
You see, if I had given in to whatever he wanted, then he would have taken us for a ride.
Yeah. That's true.
But because of my certain ways of doing things, well, he couldn't take us for a ride. Anyway, I did a lot of flying over there also as a station commander. And did a lot of... in 1994, my posting orders came to go as a directing staff to Mau again, back to Mau.
Now as an instructor.
Now as an instructor. So anyway, before leaving, you go to... that time, SWAC was in Jodhpur. Air Marshal Karyappa was the CNC. He had just taken over. From Air Chief Marshal Sareen. Sareen was the earlier CNC. He had moved out as Vice Chief and Karyappa had taken over.
Sir.
Now, I went over there for my farewell and it started raining and I told him, I said, sir, I am going to be in serious trouble. He said, why? I said, I am telling you by tomorrow I'll be flooded.
Oh.
So anyway, next morning, sure enough, Uttarlai was totally flooded. And I was going to hand over the station. And I was going to hand over to my own coastmate.
Sir.
So he rings me up. He says, Joe, can I come and have a look at the station? I said, yes, sir, you can come. He said, okay, I just want to see what the floods are like. So he came. And he came at low level. Now, Uttarlai is a bowl.
Okay.
It was, Uttarlai means Lai is a lake.
Okay.
It's a northern lake.
Okay.
Now, when they selected this airfield, the old Maharaja's airfield was there. It was a Kachat. So they built this runway there. It was a problem. It was getting flooded every time there were heavy rains.
So was it a low-lying area, sir, there?
No, it was a low-lying area. So the water would rush in from everywhere else into the airfield.
Okay, into it. Oh.
And he came and he said, how come your radar didn't pick me up? I said, sir, this is the reason. Because we are in a low-lying area. Even I said, I have done a lot of surveys over here to move my Pichora units to higher places. Because otherwise we'll never be able to catch anything over here. We are all within a bowl. So we have selected places where we can hide. But during peacetime, I have to keep them within the airfield. Only a wartime situation where they go out. So that is the problem. And a new radar had come up also. 269 a radio or something like that. So I said, they are still setting up everything. Anyway, I took him around the station and he couldn't believe that this kind of floods can take place. And then he started picking up on small things. I said, sir, this is major one is here. Water has to go out and I'm handing over INS Uttarlai to my coastmate. It's like a naval ship now. After that, I handed over to Phadke and I left for Mau as a DS. There were the higher command courses. It starts with 3 courses over there: the junior command, senior command, and higher command.
Sir.
And I am the only Air Force DS over there. The directing staff is only one, and I have to give lectures and attend to their war games and everything. So I was there for about a year and a half. I mean, you can say from July 94 till Jan 96.
Yes, sir.
I was there, and I had only one crib with the army over there. Otherwise, one was that I didn't have any help over there. There was no NC there. I had no service vehicle. I had just one sergeant who was helping me with my work, and I had requested the army. My previous predecessor, he was given a Jawan to help him out in his work.
Sir.
Like what used to happen now. Because of water problem, you have to go and pick up your bucket. They used to send one tanker over there, and then we had to go down, fill up buckets, and bring it up. And I was staying in a temporary quarter.
Okay. I think but army officers must be having all the privileges, sir.
They have all the privileges. We don't have. They get sahayaks and they get everything. We don't get anything.
Okay.
Finally, I wrote to air headquarters. I said, "This is my status. I've been the station commander at some place. I come here and I don't have any help. My wife and my children, we are all picking up buckets of water and bringing it up. The army is not helping me out."
Sir.
Then after about 3 months of my fighting with the army, then they gave me one person. Not so good at all. He was in the local Bihar regiment over there.
Okay.
Lazy fellow. Within 1 month, he went away. And they sent me one chap who was about to retire. But the main thing was that because of my attitude with them, the way I used to behave with them, I was not like an army officer who used to keep shouting at them and saying, I was more friendly with them. So he became a very nice guy actually.
Oh, great.
And he really used to help a lot of work. In the meantime, I got my actual house, and my daughter also came there on a post. My son-in-law was a colonel posted to JNK. She got a post there. So we were close by. My grandchild was there. And so we were quite comfortable after that. And then subsequently, my posting orders came. I was to pick up my rank as Air Commodore there only.
Okay.
In Mau. The chief came and told me, he says, "You are continuing to stay here as an Air Commodore." So I said, "Fine, sir. There's no problem." But suddenly my posting orders came to Bidar. So Air Chief Marshal's call left and Air Chief Marshal Sarin came. My posting order suddenly came to Bidar, and I was replaced by another person who was supposed to go to Bidar.
Interchanged. Yes, sir.
It got interchanged. So I left and I went to Bidar. I took over Air Force Station Bidar on 1st of Feb. And it was a very... The minute I took over,
sir,
I was called to the Chief of the Air Staff's office,
sir,
within 10 days. So I reported to the chief, that was Air Chief Marshal Sarin, and he knew me well.
Sir.
Because he was seen his swag. Whatever task he had given me, he was quite happy with my task. Then he called me and told me that I want you to start the Surya Kiran aerobatic team. This is your primary task.
Sir.
Now, because I was a QFI and an FCL, not that the other guy who was supposed to go there was not a QFI FCL, he was also QFI FCL.
So this was in Bidar, sir?
This was in Bidar. But before this, there will be another one where I'm taking over. This was at the time of my handing over.
Achha, handing over. Okay.
It is where I'm taking over along with the Surya Kiran aerobatic team underneath. That double photograph. So he gave me this task, and he said that in the month of November,
sir,
we are going to be having the air show in Bangalore. I want you to carry out a 9-aircraft formation of Surya Kiran over there.
Okay.
And I'm sending you some people who are qualified ex-Thunderbolts. So I said, fine. And he said, that is why I selected you as AOC Bidar.
AOC Bidar. Okay.
So I said, all right, sir, I'll take on the task. Anyway, I came back to Bidar, and trainings had already started off. There were 157 pilots course was already on. Because they were delayed, the whole thing got cramped up quite a bit. And at the same time, I had the responsibility of flying as taking tests of the cadets also.
Okay.
And flying with the Surya Kirans initially because of shortage of pilots till the pilots started coming in. So I was wearing 2 hats at the same time.
Okay.
So I was not that I feel bad because I enjoyed my flying over there.
Yeah.
I was the only AOC who was flown 350 hours over there.
I got.
And slowly we started building up both the Surya Kirans also. At the same time, the training flying also started continuing. But I had a major problem on my hands. The problem was Andhra Pradesh went dry.
Okay.
When Andhra Pradesh went dry, Bidar comes under Karnataka.
Yes, sir.
So all the people who were the drinkers from Andhra come over the weekend to Bidar.
Okay.
For drinking liquor. Okay. So overnight in Bidar, there was a property boom, People started rich overnight, hotels came up, and the colony which was close to the Air Force station, they started becoming, multi-story and things. And I kept telling them, I said, listen, I have the aircraft is a training base. You can't go vertically upstairs.
Sir.
There are restrictions on building.
Sir.
They started using the Air Force road for themselves. All kinds of things started happening. So I told the DC and all that thing. I said, listen, something has to be done. But the DC was another nasty fellow. I mean, I couldn't get on with him. So finally, what I did was I put a fencing in front of this particular colony. There is fencing over here on either side because our WT cabin was outside and not within the airfield. The minute I did this, there was a lot of throw up from the civilian side because some people had built their gates towards our road. So about 50 odd people decided to go to meet Prime Minister Devagowda.
My God, okay.
So they came to Delhi and they complained about me that I had done this. So the Prime Minister told the chief.
Sir.
The chief sent the AOA to come to Bidar and see what I had done. So I took him around and I showed him. I said, this is my land. This is what I have done. And these people were using, and this is all the cadets go through here. All the naval officers go through. I said, it's becoming dangerous for us. So I took a video of the whole thing and I gave it to the AOA. Now the AOA went to air headquarters and instead of taking my side, almost went against my decisions.
Okay.
In the meantime, the Prime Minister told the human rights, Mr. Ranganath Mishra, he was the top man of human rights.
Yes, sir.
So he sent Mr. Justice Malimat from Karnataka to come and sort out the problem.
Okay.
So when he landed up over there, I was called that you have done this. So anyway, I went and met him. And the DC by that time, who didn't like me, had already filled up his ear against me.
Okay.
So I had already carried all my, the MES records and everything with me. So initially, though I was the senior most in Bidar, I was kept waiting outside.
Oh my God.
Purposely by the DC.
Willfully, yes.
Finally, he called me in, the judge. Initially, he was on a little offensive and was talking to me in a very offensive manner.
Okay.
So I told him, I said, sir, these are my records. You can have a look at it. And I said, let me tell you something. What is not government property cannot be done by the Indian Air Force. I cannot repair roads and things like that through the MES. And that is why these roads, these things have been made. All this area comes under us. So after having good about a 1 hour discussion with him and explaining everything to him, I said, sir, would you like to come on ground? So he says, yes, let's go on ground. While we were walking from the main road, and I must say hats off to that judge because he was the elderly gentleman.
Okay.
But he walked with me right up to the technical area, which is quite a distance. And while walking, they were talking to him in Kannada.
Sir.
And I couldn't understand anything. So I told them, I said, sir, I understand their problems. They should not have done this. They have moved their gates over here. They should have had their gates to the other side. But instead of having the standard procedure of leaving so much space, they have used up all the space. Thinking that they will use the Air Force road. Now they must understand that they have to they have to construct their own road. I will give them certain area. Now we had a railway track also going on side. They had one civilian club which was on the other side close to our Air Force station. They had a couple of houses there. So I said, now I know those people can't come here because the road is blocked.
Sir.
I will allow certain things. But this road construction must take place from their side. By that time, he was very friendly with me now, judge. And then he told me, he says, whose house is this next to your this thing? This belongs to an Air Force officer. I said, yes, sir, it did belong to the earlier station commander.
Okay.
Group Captain Abraham, and I'm very angry with him because he sold it to a civilian.
Oh.
He sold it to a school. That is how it has come next to my WT cabin. Which is, all my messages come here.
Okay.
And I said, this is not the right thing to be done. Anyway, he walked with me all the way up to the technical area.
Sir.
While we were walking, there were certain areas which were encroached by some people. I said, I have written to the DC. And the DC was walking with us.
Okay.
I said, I have told the DC number of times to get it vacated because I have to build a wall. But he's not doing anything about it. If you please give me the go-ahead, then I can start building my wall over there.
Okay.
Back to my empty section. So he looked at the DC, he says, what's the problem? So fortunately,
Sir.
very fortunately for me, he became more friendly with me then. And I said, yes, sir, I understand their problem. I am here to help them. But I should not be put like this, that you take over my land and things like that. No, that I cannot do because I'm a military man. I have certain jobs on my hand. I'm the station commander here. I have to protect my land.
Correct.
So I can move my fencing to a little this way and give them place to build a road. Then they can do what they want. So next day, we were all called to the main council hall over there.
Mm.
And he made me sit on his right. He put his arm around me and he says, you people are mad. This man is such a good man.
Okay.
Here he was trying to help you and you people have gone about it in this manner. If you had only asked him decently and this, that and the other, knowing his problem, things would have been different. So a thing where I could have been in serious trouble because of human rights.
Okay.
Finally went in my favor there.
That's great, sir. That's great.
Even air headquarters and all that, they didn't do anything after that because now the human rights report went that no, there is nothing against this officer. And not only that, 2 months later, there was a meeting in which Ranganath Mishra came himself.
Okay.
And he saw me sitting on the front row. And he says, first thing he says, I'm very happy to see that you all have now in good spirit.
Okay.
Anyway, this is one of the things that happened over there.
Sir.
And besides that, of course, I had put one MLA in jail because of him cutting trees in the afforestation ground.
Okay.
Then one of the ministers, agriculture minister who belonged to Bidar, he came to me and he told me, he says, why don't you settle down in Bidar?
Acha. Okay.
He says, we will start a defense colony. I said, sir, please, I don't want to settle down. I belong to so-and-so place. I had a flat in Belgaum. My intention was to settle in Belgaum. So I'm going there. I'm going over there. And I have no intentions of settling down. I don't want to do what Abraham did. Build a house and sell it to somebody else.
Yes, sir.
So then he told me, he says, no, that MLA ka story and, you put him. I said, sir, he has cut trees. He must be told very clearly. Otherwise, tomorrow I have problems. Anyway, my reputation like that was like that. And besides that, looking after general, there was a little bit of a problem in the Air Force at that time, which took place. It became very wild. I mean, the whole Air Force, there was a strike and all involved. But my men in Bidar never did anything.
Okay.
I used to talk to them every day. I had no problems at all. And my wife used to talk to with the ladies. In Bidar, I must say, I had no problems at all.
Okay. In spite of the problems elsewhere, so many places.
There were a few problems on the other stations and all that. But I had no problems at all.
Right,
and subsequently, after my Bidar tenure, my name came for the National Defence College. Now, I think... no, not only that, because what will happen is now the senior posts are coming up.
Yeah, this is going to be more interesting and that inspiring. So, what do we do, sir? So, can you sum up, or can we take another day?
One more session. One can be properly. Otherwise,
Session can be given, sir.
जल्दी में मजा नहीं आएगा सर. जल्दी में मजा नहीं आएगा.
अच्छा.
AVM and Air Marshal post is still left with.
Yeah, they are now most influential posts. Many things are there.
Most coveted post.
There is a long way to go. Long way to go.
I think we'll take one more session, sir.
One more session.
There's a long way to go.
I don't mind one
because
more session.
even if we continue, people may not be able to pay so much of attention that we deserve.
Sir, let's have one more session.
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
it should be at the earliest, so that we recall all your earlier 2 sessions also.
Yeah.
So we started at 10 o'clock.
Solid 3 hours, sir. Like our brigadier Aptre sir the other day, he was also talking for 3.5 hours. In full flow with lots of interesting information. Yeah, when is it?
29th August is a free day. Can we
29th
have it on
August?
29th? Yeah.
29th. Okay.
Because that Wing Commander Balasubramanian has yesterday only sent message to me, rather this morning, that he would like it to be postponed.
So then we can, sir, can we have it on 29th August, sir?
I would not see 29th August happens to be my younger brother's birthday who died also.
Oh.
29th August is a little difficult for me.
So maybe next, in thereafter next Sunday.
September.
Somewhere in September.
First week of September, no problem.
Then we'll have it first week of September.
Yes, sir.
Because now it will be, the various other more things going on, so it will take a lot of time.
Yes, sir. So many things to be told and to be listened to by us. Interesting things are there. Yeah, we were really inspired by the further journey, the higher journey of yours.
Yep, your guidance is very much required, sir.
So, yeah, I think now, okay, with the permission of our Air Marshal Saab, then we can stop here by taking feedback from some of our Veer Chakra holders like our Quatra Saab and Karnik Saab and all. Sir,
From
for
all,
your
sir. From all,
comments, sir.
From
Comments, sir.
all.
Comments from Karnik sir and Das sir.
Yeah, very interesting talk indeed. And I would like the suggestion of extending to one more session will be absolutely most welcome by all of us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll have a question answer session next time.
Yeah, next time we can.